Hey everyone, this is Michael with a general reading intended for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Hello and welcome, whether you're watching this for yourself or perhaps cross-watching for another individual with Sagittarius placements. I do want to wish you all a happy birthday for my Sagittarius Sun people who had a birthday in November or maybe have one coming up this month in December. And happy holidays to all of you as well. Obviously, this is a bit unprecedented of a year, and there is a lot going on astrologically that we're going to get into before we pull some cards. I do have timestamps in the description box down below if you want to skip any point of this video or skip ahead. I do just want to give some quick announcements. All of my links are linked in the description box down below, so you can get personal readings or Reiki sessions with me. I will be doing sales very shortly. I was wondering if I should do something for Black Friday, but I'm also really close to the 50,000 mark on my channel, and I usually do some sales and giveaways around then as well. So hint, hint, nudge, nudge, we're getting really close at the time of this recording. I do really appreciate everyone who has supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It's been an incredible journey, and I couldn't have done it without you. So thank you all for all of the tremendous support that has come through over this time I have been on YouTube. I'm so grateful and blessed to have you all a part of my journey. I do have my links for all my social media as well as the blog post, which I will be referencing shortly with all the astrology. I do list out all the aspects and transits by date, so you don't have to memorize when certain things are happening. It is all available to you down below. I even check my own blog throughout the month, so hopefully you find it useful as well. And I have to be honest with you, Sagittarius, I feel like I rushed my first video with Virgo, and I really want to take it slow with all of you. So again, if you want to go straight ahead to the reading, you are more than welcome to do that. But the astrology is incredibly significant to you specifically because we have two eclipses that are happening. Technically, we have one tonight on November 29th or the early hours of November 30th, depending on where in the world you are, and that's occurring in your opposite sign, Gemini. With eclipses, they always come in at least a pair of two or sometimes three, so a triplet, I guess you could call it. And the next one is going to be on December 14th, and that's actually going to be happening in your sign. So again, very, very big energy. For those of you who are not familiar, eclipses are essentially the energy of moons that are amplified. So a lunar eclipse, which is what we're having tonight, is essentially a very powerful full moon. And for you, that's happening in your opposite sign in Gemini, which means there could be some cycles you're closing out in your relationships. This doesn't necessarily mean you're all going to break up or you're going to end your connections with people. What it could mean, though, is that the way you show up in relationships is changing significantly. Or maybe the way that you view partners, or the way that you look for love or value your partner. All of these things could change. This also doesn't even necessarily need to be romantic. It could just be the people who are closest in your life, or even business partnerships as well. It's like the people you are building something with and coming together to do something larger than the sum of the two of you. So there's a lot of ways that that could actually look. It's not just relationships like a lot of astrologers will tell you. There's a lot more to each of the houses. We're all kind of just speaking as quickly as possible or giving as much general information, but you can really take a deep dive into each house. So there's a lot of these themes with relationships and the way that you show up in the world and the way you might even be projecting yourself onto other people. Again, that's a bit of a deeper interpretation of the seventh house. It's a little non-traditional. And this month is really, really powerful because we also have obviously the eclipse in your sign and what some of you have probably already heard about with this great conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. Now, because you're ruled by Jupiter, Sagittarius, whatever it's doing is very significant to you as well. And this past year, we have had Jupiter going through the sign of Capricorn. And whenever you have Capricorn energy or Saturn energy, which technically Jupiter has been dancing with both this year, there is restriction. Jupiter loves freedom. It's travel. It's expanding our horizons. It's our expansion. And whenever it interacts with another planet, it can sometimes amplify that energy. So it's really interesting how in the sign of Capricorn and with the planet Saturn so close to Jupiter throughout this year, we've actually experienced a lot of restrictions and lessons, which Saturn is known to come and give us in abundance. So Saturn and Jupiter have really been giving us kind of a run for our money this year, haven't they? And really making us feel a bit stuck. What's interesting is that both of these signs are moving towards the middle to the end of the month into the sign of Aquarius. And we are going to be coming into kind of a revolution. There is going to be a restart of energy in a lot of ways. Firstly, we have had Jupiter and Saturn conjoining in Earth signs for the past 200 years. And it hasn't been until, I think it was 1802? Someone correct me in the comments down below if I am wrong, but it was 1802 when they started entering and joining together in Earth signs. And now we are at the end of the cycle and we are coming into the air sign energy. And the past 200 years, we've seen the Industrial Revolution. We've seen a huge increase in materialism and physical abundance, but that's also come at the excess of hoarding and maybe, you know, powerful or influential individuals holding the vast majority of the world's wealth for themselves. And so much of this year has really been about displacing or kind of shaking up the status quo to kind of dislodge some things that just aren't working. And so it really is part of our expansion. And I see a lot of astrologers on YouTube, online, who have been talking about the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction like it's going to be all good or it's going to be all bad. And it's like we're going to be going to the dark side of the age of Aquarius where it's going to almost be like a dystopian sci-fi novel where we're all disconnected from each other. I don't think that's really necessarily true. I also don't think it's going to be like butterflies and rainbows by any means either. I think realistically what we really need to be thinking of this as is a restart. And it could really go any number of ways. And I know that kind of seems like a cop-out to people. I'm sure there are things that are going to happen that are not going to be so great in 2021, and there's going to be things that are really going to give people a lot of hope. There's going to be a lot of advancement, especially with technology in the sign of Aquarius. There's this big revolution. And for you specifically, it's also talking about your communication and the way that you come across to people. And even the way that you relate to your local community, because all of this Aquarian energy is in your third house. So there could be some new ways of existing or some new lessons that are kind of occurring for you in these areas of your life, as well as with your siblings, interestingly enough. And the way that you kind of just think about your day-to-day life in general, because the third house also rules our mind. Again, these houses can really talk about a lot of different areas of our life all at once. And you know, this great conjunction, I'm probably going to be doing a live stream at some point next month. I know I talked about doing it earlier in November, but I've just had so many technical difficulties. It's been kind of hard with, I was having some like audio glitches. I'm actually using the camera mic right now, so I apologize if you're having a hard time hearing me. I do recommend headphones if that's the case. But I do really think it's going to be a good time to check in and to kind of give an update as we're getting closer to that conjunction. I know there's so many videos online at this point. It's almost like everyone has their own take on things. I'm sure there's plenty of wonderful astrologers and tarot card readers out there who are already informing you of what's going to be coming. But this is just a brand new cycle, and that's actually really exciting. And I'm not going to say that it's going to be like snap of the fingers, things are different. Not at all. I think things are going to continue being tumultuous and shaken up for quite some time, to be totally honest. But things are going to be shifting in a way where there's almost this sense of newness, and we're not stuck in the same restrictive patterns that we were in before. That's not to say that we won't occasionally have more lockdowns or anything like that, to be honest with you, or that there won't be anything else that kind of delays our lives, but I do feel like the challenges are going to kind of shift a little bit into next year. And again, I kind of want to go back to this eclipse that we have in your sign on the 14th. This is going to be affecting you very personally, and it's a new beginning, which is really, really exciting because it is a solar eclipse. It's a new moon. It is a total solar eclipse. So depending on where you are in the world, you will be able to see the moon fully cross over the sun, which is always really exciting and really powerful. And what's so interesting about this specific eclipse is that it's actually happening 3 degrees away from the galactic center. So there is a lot of expansion. There is a lot of us kind of coming into this much larger cosmic contract and cycle that we are in, because it's not just about the Earth. We are just one grain of sand in a very large ocean here, and we're really going to be coming into a very powerful galactic alignment this month in December. And it might not all manifest. You might not necessarily see the difference right away, especially with an eclipse. It can take like over the course of 6 months for that transformation to occur, that new beginning to take place. But this is a really powerful time for you to manifest something that's very personal to you, Sagittarius. So make sure that you're doing your manifestation work, your magic, whatever it is that you do, whatever spiritual practices you do, that new moon is going to be very powerful for you on the 14th. And then finally, we do end the year off with a Cancer full moon as well, which is kind of fun because we started off this year with one as well. And so for you, that could be, that's your 8th house, and that's going to affect a lot of your intuition. There could be secrets that are coming out in your life, some things that are kind of being revealed to you that were hidden, specifically by people in your life. There could be kind of a truth bomb that gets dropped. It's also the house of inheritance. It's the house of death. Not saying like there's going to necessarily be death, although there could. What I really think that is talking more about is endings, completions of cycles for you. And that's a really powerful way to kind of cleanse the year as well. So that full moon in Cancer on December 30th is going to be a very cleansing time for all of us, especially for you, Sagittarius. So I hope you use this energy to your advantage. I hope you use it wisely. Again, I'm sure we'll be talking more at some point this month about the astrology, what's going on. I am going to be doing a year ahead reading with my friend Ellie as well. We actually did one for 2020, and oh my god, did we spill the tea. We were totally... I feel like we talked about this year to such great detail without necessarily knowing like what exactly was happening, but when you go back and watch it, it's just like mind-blowing. And you can find that on my channel if you're interested in kind of reviewing the year. It was crazy. It was kind of haunting, to be honest with you, when I was looking back on it throughout the year. So that is available. But anyway, Sagittarius, I want to get to the cards for you. I've been talking already for, oh my god, 13 minutes. Whoa. I told you, I wanted to take it slow. There's a lot that's happening this month, and I don't think that we can rush it. But let's see. What are the messages we have for Sagittarius? We already have cards flying out for you. What are the messages for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising? And we are looking specifically at the first half of December, and then we'll take a look at the second half. I just like to break it up that way. Kind of reviewing what's been going on in your life. Let's see. Okay, so we have the Knight of Coins, with the Queen of Coins in reverse, and the Two of Coins in reverse. And these are all coming out together. Let's see if we can get these to show up a little better. I know the lighting isn't always so great here. And then these two. The Ace of Coins in reverse. And the Knight of Swords. So this Knight of Swords is interesting because this is actually Gemini energy, although some of you could be communicating with another air sign individual, Libra or Aquarius too. But I actually feel like this is energy you're trying to embody. You're trying to go forward in your life like this Knight of Swords. There's this real push for you to move forward, to take action in your life, and honestly, depending on what's going on, where you are in the world, you might be very frustrated this month or in the first half of this month, or you've just been dealing with this frustration really probably for most of this year at this point. With the Ace of Coins in reverse, and even this Two of Coins in reverse as well, it's felt like you've had a really hard time starting something, starting some sort of project, or creating a new beginning for your life, specifically a new job or a new, could be a new relationship if it's like a really settled relationship. But I feel like this is more your day-to-day life, like a new job or a move, something like that. And to be honest with you, Sagittarius, it feels like some of you have lost an option or lost an opportunity because you were weighing your options before with this Knight of Coins and the Queen of Coins in reverse. Some of you could be dealing with an earth sign energy as well, so a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. And then something happens where it could either be in their life, where an opportunity kind of closes out for them, or maybe an opportunity between the two of you closed out. But to be honest, I feel like Sagittarius, what this choice is like, you can either move forward very slowly as this Knight of Coins, or stick with the same old with the Queen of Coins. I don't know why that's an interpretation I'm getting. That's not really the traditional way to read these cards, but that is coming in for me. And it's almost like you're not able to do the same old thing that you've been doing. And that's just been the case for a lot of people this year, hasn't it? And you might have been kind of dragging your heels or waiting for something to change. And you are actually making slow and steady progress this month, Sagittarius. And it might not feel like it with the Ace of Coins in reverse. You might feel really disappointed that you're not getting your feet off the ground on something, or you don't have the relationship you were hoping to have, or whatever this stability represents for you, this seed, this new beginning. It's like you tried to plant a couple of different seeds, and the one you were hoping to blossom or to grow into something didn't. And now you're afraid that nothing is going to happen, nothing is going to blossom, and you want things to happen quickly as this Knight of Swords in your mind, in your planning, in your communication. But in your day-to-day life, your energy is a bit more like this Knight of Coins, which is slow, steady progress, focus, disciplined. It takes time to build this thing that you're trying to create. And maybe some of you are kind of just in the strategy phase right now. You're re-strategizing. You're coming up with a new plan. Let's pull an animal card here, actually. You have a lot of earth element here. So that tells me that this is most likely talking about your day-to-day life. Sea serpent. Whew. A lot of emotional healing though, too. The sea serpent actually represents our sacral chakra, and this is a chakra some of you really need to be working with. I think the root chakra, our sense of security and stability, has definitely been shaken up this year, but that does also affect our sacral chakra as well, because this is the center that allows us to feel comfort, connection, intimacy, safety. This is definitely a center for you to work on, and this is the chakra that's 2 inches below your belly button, give or take. And I feel like there's this cycle here that you're kind of shedding, and it might feel like it's forced. And whenever I see the Sea Serpent card, it's almost like you just have to allow yourself to feel. There's nothing else you can really do. There's this tsunami coming. You kind of just have to ride the wave. And again, this could be involving an earth sign or an air sign. And I know that the Svadhisthana chakra, or the sacral chakra, actually does mean something to the effect of in her own abode. So this is, I think this is a home situation for some of you. Maybe you're hoping to move, and that's just been delayed, or make some sort of change to your life like that. But it's almost like you need to come home to yourself, or find that home inside yourself. Maybe you did actually create something and it didn't end up going the way that you thought it would. It didn't feel the way you thought it would. And I think this year has just changed a lot of people's priorities, and it's made us really reevaluate what we wanted, or what we thought we wanted, what we thought we needed. But I still feel like there's this disappointment for you, Sagittarius. And again, we're just looking at the first half of the month. This could be energy you've already been in. So this could just be kind of review. But I still feel like there is this Knight of Coins here. Something's cooking, something's still in the oven. It's just, it's not quite time. Or maybe you're trying something new. You're trying a new recipe. So let's take a look at the second half of November. Whew. Starting off big with the Judgment card here. A big change. It's like, if you feel like Sagittarius, you're really waiting for something to change, or you've been kind of just in this funk, which who hasn't been really? I feel like there's this moment for you in the second half of the month. Could even be around this eclipse that's happening in your sign. There is this judgment moment. There is this call to action. And this does feel like that great conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter as well on the 21st. There's a lot of big energy, again. Interesting. Some of you are also going to find out about a water sign. So that could be Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, who has been hiding something from you. With the Seven of Swords in reverse. And that's the judgment. That's the thing that's coming to light. And I was talking about with that 8th house activation right at the end of the month on the 30th for you with that full moon in Cancer, there could be a big revelation that kind of blows you out of the water. And somehow it feels like it changes your trajectory pretty dramatically. And if this isn't a water sign individual, it can just be someone who's been kind of gaslighting you a little bit. Or maybe being manipulative with you emotionally. Because sometimes when I think of the Queen of Cups, it's someone who's very intuitive, someone who's very good at reading people, and that's not always used for the best interest of others. I could also see this, Sagittarius, as you intuiting the intent of somebody else. You seeing a situation that no one else is seeing, or you seeing someone's true side. Because this Queen of Cups is showing up in the mind, in your communication, You could be this person who's being very intuitive and feeling this deception, catching someone in a lie, or getting the sense that someone is not being entirely forthcoming with you, and there's this judgment card here. I want to clarify this judgment card. It's like, it's almost like, okay, no more playing games, is sort of the energy I'm getting here, looking at the first half and then the second half. There's a very dramatic shift here. And maybe some of you, you've been taking an indirect or passive approach, or trying to find happiness another way. You know, maybe there's a situation where you're trying to stay happy at a job that just isn't fulfilling to you. And you keep trying to tell yourself, oh, I just need to stick with this, I just need to keep going, it'll get better, I'll eventually like this, or something like that. But there's something else that's calling you, and that's just an example. Six of Swords in reverse. It's like a pattern you keep coming up against. You've been here before with this person or this situation, this judgment moment, but it feels like it's for real this time. Some of you really could be ending a connection with somebody or just ending a situation. And with the Nine of Swords in reverse, you're actually letting go of a lot of anxiety. Or you're processing a lot of that anxiety for the sake of letting it go, and maybe this Queen of Cups is someone you're speaking with. Excuse me, let me get some water really quickly here. Yeah, someone's not being honest. Someone's throat chakra is a little closed, and I did actually see this black egg at the bottom of the deck, which is the throat chakra card. So this could be you speaking some truth, this could be someone in your life dropping a truth bomb. And it's like, if you've been holding out on something or someone, waiting for something to change, it's like, boom, you're letting it go. Let's see. Tell me about this Queen of Cups, this Queen of Chalices. Ooh, that's too many. Let's try again. Queen of Swords in reverse. Someone's dropping a facade, and I think there's actually a really emotional conversation. Someone could be cutting you out, or you could be cutting someone else out, cutting ties. We definitely live in very divisive times right now, very divided times. But it feels like maybe this is this other person who's done playing the games. Who's dropping this mask. And if you just feel like there's something you have known, but you weren't quite able to prove it or express it, it feels like, Sagittarius, you finally have confirmation. You finally get your proof. Sorry our recording was interrupted there. I was just saying, it feels like something that would have been a big deal to you, or something that would have felt like a tower moment where everything's coming down, it doesn't quite register the same way. It's different. There's almost this sense of freedom. Or not even freedom. It's like, you can't outrun this, and in facing it and turning towards it, that's when you actually become free of it. That's a really specific message, so I'll be curious to hear what that translates as for you in the comment section down below. I want to pull one more animal card here. Vulture. Yeah, something is being brought back into balance. Something needs to be cleansed. So for some of you, we could be talking about a relationship, but it actually feels like a marriage specifically, or someone you've invested a lot of time and your energy in. It could also be a business partnership. And to be honest, I almost get the sense this is something that has gone on for years. You tried building something, you tried working on something, and even throughout this year, perhaps you've persevered and tried to make something work or tried to make something happen. And to be honest with you, Sagittarius, I'm a Sagittarius moon, we're kind of straight shooters. I feel like something is going to be purged. And that could feel like someone in your life here. But you already sort of knew it was going to happen. And it was almost like in holding on and trying to keep something or someone in your life, it was actually making you more anxious. And now that you're having this judgment moment, you're seeing like, I'm not getting out of this pattern. We're going in circles. This is the same thing again and again. I'm finally just letting it go. There's that sense of freedom. Sometimes the freedom is in letting something go, or in setting something free. Because even though I have this sense someone around you, Sagittarius, was playing some mind games, if we're being really honest with ourselves, when we don't trust somebody, that's when we test them. That's when we play games with them too, isn't it? And maybe there's even a little manipulation on your end as well, if you're being totally honest with yourself. And I feel like you're actually purging that from you. It's not just this person. And I know a lot of people who watch these tarot readings, they want to hear about how bad this other person is or how narcissistic this other person is. But the truth is, there's always a mirror in a relationship. And instead of trying to create this witch hunt with each other, which is just what 2020 has been, it's also necessary to look at yourself and look at your own patterns, and that's not easy. And maybe the ways that you have been dysfunctional or toxic with this person. Because to be honest with you, Sagittarius, it feels like you've been in this dynamic for way too long. And something is shifting now. And there's this new beginning. There's this new chapter for you. And it's like you're cleaning out the closets before you proceed into the next year. There's a major rebalancing that's going on. Because Vulture is interesting. It's kind of this great renewer. Even in a situation like death, or even in kind of a lost cause, Vulture is able to find nourishment from that and grow from that to sustain itself. So if there is a situation where it feels like a lost cause for you, or there's a relationship that comes to an end, it wasn't all for nothing. You can still gain some nourishment here. You can still look for the silver linings in what you learned. And I know that this year has been full of harsh lessons, and it's been very challenging for so many people. But it's like the thing you've been resisting for so long, this letting go, or this conversation, this direct conversation, getting your answer. It's like you finally free yourself by doing that. So that's really, really interesting. I apologize that this has been so very long. I hope I didn't lose all of you. I actually want to pull one more card. I want to pull a color healing card for you. Whenever I do kind of a challenging read like this, I like to go to this deck. It offers a specific guided meditation to work with this color or this frequency, but you are welcome to, use your own imagination or follow your own intuition. Jade, take action. Very, very interesting. Some of you, I'm also feeling this too, some of you were not moving forward in your life because of a relationship, or you were holding back because of somebody else, and now you're just letting that go. You're kind of seeing how you were compromising. And maybe that's part of the game you were playing, maybe that's part of the manipulation. You were sort of sticking around in a situation that really wasn't meant for you, it wasn't flowing anymore. And now you're taking action in your own life. So jade is a color of serenity, tranquility, love, and nurturing. It creates balance, harmony, and self-sufficiency, releasing negativity from your mind and stimulating ideas, making what is complex seem simpler and doable. Jade is a cleansing color. Allow jade to help you take action and make your life easier. Whatever you have been putting off doing, just do it. Let go of any excuses and take action. Think of what you would love and surround yourself and your desires with jade light. Say, I can do this. It's easy. The universe supports my goals and dreams and manifests them into physical reality. Yeah, this feels like it's really getting to the heart of what we've been talking about. Whatever it is that you've been trying to put off, it keeps coming up. There keeps being this snag for you, and now is judgment time. It's just this energy of just do it. And you might have been dreading it, and you've spent so much time trying to avoid this, and I think, honestly, Sagittarius, you're going to look back and kind of wonder to yourself, why did I wait so long? Why was I holding on to this so tightly? Because I feel like there's a lot of blessings that are coming your way, and I feel like a lot of the blockages you're experiencing now are a result of what you're holding on not being meant for you, or what you're holding on to not being meant for you. Whew. So that was a light reading for your birthday. I do have to be honest though, these birthday readings tend to be pretty intense if you are a Sagittarius sun. A lot of the time our solar return represents a new cycle, a new beginning, a new year. And that's when you are kind of taking stock of things and deciding what am I taking with me this next year of my life and what do I need to let go of. And for a lot of you, you're taking action, you're taking the first steps forward, and it actually feels like for you, that involves walking away or just having a real conversation and not being afraid of it ending. Maybe for some of you, there won't be the ending. Maybe that's just something you need to do, and you need to be willing to risk it all, to put your cards on the table. Anyways, I could keep going. I wish you all the best for December. Let me know in the comment section down below what is going on for you. It seems pretty intense for this group, to be honest. I'll be curious to hear. Maybe you can support each other as well. Let me know how this color healing card worked for you, if it was helpful or if it gave you some ideas for how to do some energy work yourself. I do have links in the description box for Reiki sessions if you feel like you need a little assistance. I also have links for personal readings as well if you'd like some more individual guidance for your own life. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Sagittarius.